Stop losing money. The truth about your hidden subscriptions. Stop. Before you spend another dime today, you need to see exactly how much money is quietly leaking out of your bank account every single month. We aren't just talking about that $15 Netflix bill. We are talking about the ghost subscriptions, the free trials you forgot to cancel, the premium apps you never use, and those sneaky service fees that American banks love to hide in the fine print. Did you know the average American spends over $200 a month on subscriptions they don't even realize they have? That is $2,400 a year, literally vanishing into thin air. In this video, I'm pulling back the curtain on the industry secrets used to keep you hooked, and more importantly, showing you the exact 3-minute audit you can do right now to claw that cash back. We're diving deep into the shadow billing trap. Why your statements are designed to confuse you. The one-click kill switch. How to find every hidden charge in 60 seconds. Negotiation hacks. How to get the services you love for 50% less. This isn't just about saving pennies. It's about taking control of your financial freedom in an economy that's designed to drain you. If you're ready to stop the bleeding and keep your hard-earned money where it belongs, smash that like button right now and let's get started. Now that you've checked your banking app and felt that sudden pit in your stomach, we have to talk about why this is happening to you and millions of other hardworking Americans right now. It is not just an accident or a lapse in memory. It is a meticulously engineered psychological trap designed by the world's most sophisticated software companies to ensure that once they have your credit card number, they never, ever let go. Think about the last time you signed up for a 7-day free trial just to watch one specific documentary or use a single photo editing filter for a quick post. You entered your details with every intention of canceling within the hour, but then life happened. The kids needed help with homework, the boss called with an emergency, or you simply sat down for dinner and forgot the entire transaction existed. This is exactly what these corporations are betting on, because they know that for every person who remembers to hit cancel, there are 10 more who will let that $14.99 charge roll over month after month for a year or more. This phenomenon is known as inertia billing, and it is the backbone of the modern digital economy, shifting the burden of action from the seller to you, the consumer, while they quietly drain your wealth one small, unnoticed transaction at a time. To truly understand the gravity of this situation, you have to look at how the American subscription landscape has shifted over the last decade. It used to be that you bought a product once, a DVD, a software disk, or a physical tool, and you owned it forever. Today, everything from your heated car seats to your basic word processor has been moved to a software-as-a-service model. This shift wasn't made to make your life more convenient, despite what the marketing says. It was made to create predictable recurring revenue, which is just corporate speak for making sure you pay for the same thing every single month until the day you die. When you aggregate these costs across your entire digital life, the numbers become staggering. You have your primary streaming services, your music platforms, your cloud storage for photos, your gaming passes, and your news site paywalls. Then come the niche ones, that fitness app you used twice in January, the specialized shipping service you needed for one package, and the premium version of a social media site you barely browse. Individually, they look like the price of a cup of coffee, but collectively, they represent a massive transfer of wealth from your savings account to a corporate balance sheet. The psychological warfare doesn't stop at the sign-up phase. Have you ever tried to actually cancel one of these services? It is often an exercise in pure frustration designed to make you give up before you reach the final confirmation screen. This is a tactic called dark patterns, where user interfaces are intentionally confusing. You click a giant red button that says cancel, only to be met with a 3-page survey asking why you're leaving, followed by a special one-time offer to stay for 50% off, followed by a warning that you will lose all your data if you leave. By the time you get to the actual confirm cancellation button, which is usually hidden in tiny gray text at the bottom of the page, most people have either been distracted or convinced to stay just a little bit longer. This is a deliberate barrier to entry for your own money. In the United States, we are seeing more legislative pushback against these roach motel designs where it's easy to get in but impossible to get out. But until those laws are fully enforced, the responsibility sits squarely on your shoulders to be the gatekeeper of your own finances. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of the audit process because this is where the real magic happens and where you start to feel the weight lifting off your shoulders. You need to stop looking at your bank statements as a boring list of chores and start looking at them as a treasure map, where the treasure is your own stolen time and labor. Every $10 subscription represents a certain amount of time you had to work to earn that money. When you see a charge for a service you haven't used in 90 days, you should feel a sense of urgency to stop that leak immediately. I recommend going back at least 3 months in your transaction history because many services bill quarterly or annually to avoid being noticed on a monthly cycle. You are looking for names you don't recognize, small test charges of 99 cents, or recurring amounts that seem slightly higher than they were last year. Inflation doesn't just hit the grocery store, it hits your digital bills too, and many companies will quietly raise their prices by $1 or $2, hoping you won't notice the change in your total balance. As you go through this list, you're going to find things that make you angry, and that's a good thing. Use that energy to fuel your cancel spree. There is a profound sense of power in clicking that final confirmation and knowing that you just gave yourself a permanent monthly raise. But don't just stop at the ones you hate. Look at the ones you actually like and ask yourself if you are on the right tier. Are you paying for a family plan when it's just you? Are you paying for Ultra HD on a device that can't even display it? These are the upsell leaks that companies use to pad their margins. Once you've trimmed the fat, you can move on to the master level move, the negotiation. For services like internet, cable, or even some insurance products, the new customer rate is always better than the loyal customer rate. In the American market, loyalty is often a tax you pay for being too busy to call and complain. A simple 15-minute phone call where you politely ask to be moved to the current promotional rate can save you $500 a year or more. It feels awkward for the first 30 seconds, but when that lower bill hits next month, the awkwardness vanishes. The final stage of this financial reclamation is setting up a defensive perimeter for the future. You have to change the way you interact with the digital world. Whenever possible, opt for the one-time purchase over the subscription, even if the upfront cost is higher. If you must use a free trial, set a calendar alert for 24 hours before it expires, not the day of, because many companies bill you at midnight. Better yet, use a virtual credit card service that allows you to set a spending limit of $1 or to freeze the card immediately after the trial starts. This puts the power back in your hands. If the company tries to bill you, the transaction fails, and they have to come to you to ask for money, rather than just taking it. This shifts the dynamic entirely. You are no longer a passive source of revenue. You are a conscious consumer making active choices about where your value goes. This shift in mindset will ripple out into other areas of your life, from how you shop for groceries to how you view your long-term investments. By taking these steps today, you are doing more than just saving a few bucks. You are declaring that your resources are valuable and that you refuse to let them be nibbled away by 1,000 tiny digital teeth. It is about awareness, discipline, and the refusal to be a victim of convenient-sounding traps. Every dollar you save today is a dollar that can go toward your emergency fund, your retirement, or a vacation you'll actually remember, unlike that streaming service you haven't logged into since 2023. This is the path to financial clarity. It starts with one statement, one cancel button, and the realization that you are in control. Think about the sheer momentum of these companies. They aren't just selling you a service. They are selling you the idea of future use. They capitalize on your optimism, the version of yourself that is definitely going to learn Spanish, finally get six-pack abs, or master the stock market. Every time you see that monthly $29.99 hit your statement for a masterclass or a workout app you haven't opened in 6 months, you aren't just paying for the content, you are paying a guilt tax. You tell yourself that if you cancel it, you're admitting defeat. You're saying, I'm never going to learn that skill. This is the psychological hook that keeps the American consumer trapped in a cycle of aspirational spending. The corporations know this. They design their marketing to make the cancel button feel like a give up button. But here's the reality check you need. Keeping the subscription isn't making you smarter or fitter. It's just making you poorer. Admitting that you don't have time for a specific hobby right now isn't a failure. It's a strategic retreat. It clears the mental clutter and the financial drain, allowing you to focus your resources on what actually matters in your life today. Let's talk about the annual trap. We've all seen it, the toggle switch on a checkout page that says pay yearly and save 20%. It looks like a brilliant financial move. You think, I'm saving $40 over the course of the year. But what you're actually doing is handing over a lump sum of cash and giving up your leverage. When you pay monthly, you have 30 opportunities a year to decide if that service is still providing value. When you pay annually, that money is gone, and the company has zero incentive to keep you happy for the next 12 months. If the service goes downhill, if the app gets buggy, or if a better competitor emerges, you're stuck. In the fast-moving American tech landscape, a year is an eternity. Unless it is a utility you absolutely cannot live without, like your primary cloud backup or your internet service, avoid the annual commitment. The savings are often a mirage designed to lock you into an ecosystem before you realize you don't actually need it. True savings come from agility, not from being locked into a contract. Now, consider the impact of embedded subscriptions in your physical world. We are entering an era where you don't just subscribe to software, you subscribe to your hardware. We've seen car manufacturers try to charge monthly fees for remote start or heated seats, features that are already built into the car you bought. This is the ultimate rent-seeking behavior. If we, as consumers, accept this as the new normal, we will eventually own nothing. Every aspect of our lives will be a metered expense. This is why your subscription audit needs to be aggressive and uncompromising. It's a vote with your wallet against a future where everything is a rental. When you cancel a predatory subscription, you are sending a signal to the market that you demand ownership and transparency. You are demanding that companies provide ongoing, tangible value if they want an ongoing, tangible piece of your paycheck. We also have to address the notification numbness that comes with modern banking. Most of us have our banking apps set to alert us for large purchases, but we ignore the $9.99 or $14.99 pings because they feel normal. You need to recalibrate your brain to see these small numbers as the primary threat. A $500 one-time purchase is easy to track and easy to regret. But five $20 subscriptions are a $1,200 annual expense that hides in plain sight. This is death by 1,000 cuts. To combat this, I recommend a no-spend reset every 6 months. For one billing cycle, cancel every single non-essential subscription. Yes, even the ones you think you love. If you truly miss it, you can resubscribe in 30 days, often at a discounted come-back-to-us rate. But you'll be shocked at how many of those essential services you don't even notice are gone once the noise stops. It's like turning off a loud fan in a room. You don't realize how much it was bothering you until it's silent. Finally, let's look at the wealth multiplier effect of what you're doing right now. If you find $150 a month in ghost subscriptions and you redirect that money into a basic S&P 500 index fund over 20 years, that small savings turns into over $80,000. That is the difference between retiring comfortably and working an extra 5 years. You aren't just saving money, you are buying your future freedom. Every time you hit cancel on a service you don't use, you are literally putting thousands of dollars back into your future self's pocket. This is how the wealthy stay wealthy. They are obsessed with where their pennies go, while the middle class is often distracted by the big numbers. You have the tools, the knowledge, and the urgency. Don't let another billing cycle pass. Open your bank app right now, find that first hidden charge, and cut the cord. Your future self is waiting to thank you for the thousands of dollars you're about to save. Let's pull the lens back even further and look at the convenience tax that has slowly suffocated the American middle class. We live in a society that prioritizes easy over economical, and nowhere is this more apparent than in the explosion of delivery and convenience subscriptions. You know the ones. the passes that promise free delivery for a monthly fee. On the surface, it feels like a win. You think, if I order just twice a month, this pays for itself. But what actually happens is a psychological shift in your spending habits. Once you have that subscription, you feel a subconscious obligation to use it to get your money's worth. You start ordering out when you have perfectly good food in the fridge. You buy small items online that you could have easily picked up at the store. The subscription isn't saving you money. It is a gateway drug to increased consumption. It tethers you to a specific ecosystem and blinds you to the massive markups on the actual products. In the United States, we are seeing a subscriptionification of the entire retail sector, and it is designed to bypass your logical brain and tap directly into your impulse centers. Now, consider the identity subscription. This is perhaps the most insidious of them all. These are the memberships we keep because they represent who we want to be rather than who we actually are. Maybe it's a high-end gym membership in a city you barely visit, a premium professional networking site when you aren't looking for a job, or a luxury wine club when you rarely drink. We hold on to these because letting go feels like losing a piece of our identity. We tell ourselves, I'm a person who values fitness, or I'm a high-level professional, even if the data, your actual usage, proves otherwise. The truth is, your identity isn't defined by what you pay for, it's defined by what you do. Canceling a subscription that doesn't align with your current reality is an act of honesty. It's an admission that your life has seasons, and it's okay to let one season end so another can begin. This mental decluttering is just as important as the financial savings. When you stop paying for a version of yourself that doesn't exist, you free up the mental energy and the actual capital to invest in who you are becoming right now. We also need to talk about the trial ghosting epidemic. Companies have become experts at the reverse free trial. They give you the premium features for free for 30 days, but they require your credit card up front. They know that life in America is fast, loud, and distracting. They are counting on the fact that you will forget the exact date the trial ends. In fact, many companies have optimized their billing cycles to hit on Saturday mornings or Sunday nights, times when you are less likely to be checking your work emails or banking alerts. They want that charge to slip through in the weekend noise. This is why you must adopt a search and destroy mission in your email inbox. Search for terms like subscription, trial, membership, and billing. You will be shocked to find confirmation emails for services you don't even remember signing up for. Many of these are zombie subscriptions, services that have been sold to other companies, rebranded, or shifted to different platforms, yet they continue to pull from your account under a name you no longer recognize. The most powerful tool in your arsenal is the burner strategy. For any new service you are curious about, never use your primary debit or credit card. Use a one-time use virtual card or a prepaid card with exactly the amount of the trial or the first month. This forces the company to provide value if they want you to reload that card. It completely flips the script. In the traditional model, the company has your money until you fight to get it back. In the burner strategy, you have your money until the company proves they deserve it. This is the ultimate defensive posture in a digital economy that is increasingly hostile to the consumer. It prevents accidental renewals and ensures that every single dollar leaving your account is a conscious, deliberate choice. Think about what that extra $100, $200, or $500 a month means for your stress levels. Financial anxiety in America is at an all-time high, and much of it stems from a feeling of leakage, the sense that no matter how much you earn, it all disappears by the end of the month. By plugging these holes, you aren't just changing your bank balance, you are changing your relationship with work. When you realize you don't need to earn $3,000 a year just to pay for things you don't use, the pressure to grind or take that extra shift begins to dissipate. You are buying back your time. You are buying back your peace of mind. You are reclaiming the power that these corporations have spent billions of dollars trying to take from you. This is the hidden wealth of the American consumer, and it's time you brought it back home.